Hey everyone, we're back with the Fate Grand Order with the Yugakhestra chapter. When we last left off, Karna had his cool heroic sacrifice moment, and the world was destroyed and remade. Maybe not remade just yet. So a relic called Falsehood. I looked it up. Apparently this is a pretty short section. So I'm doing this on the same day as the last episode. I've gotten back into the flow of recording. Like a couple days ago, my voice was aching after like 10 minutes, but now I'm like, yeah, I can talk. Did we make it? Good grief, yare does it. Talk about escaping by the skin of one's teeth. We may have paid a heavy price, but at least we managed to protect what we absolutely needed to. Karna. I love how it paralleled CCC, even though I haven't actually played it. Even wearing knight indestructible armor imbued with the sun god's power, it's only so much one can do when the very world crumbles away. Truth be told, I'm impressed he lasted as long as he did. That was a feat akin to holding back all the waters of the ocean, or catching a falling star with one's bare hands. There are few heroes in all of history who could have withstood a cataclysm like that, even just for a few seconds. For us, those few seconds are truly the difference between life and death. Karna, hero of benefaction, I salute your strength and devotion. You have my eternal thanks. First Najan, now Karna. Brother just gotten here, and we've already lost 2 of our servants. As cold-hearted as this may sound, we can't move on if we keep our focus on the past. Let's go over what we've gained as well. Yes, I know, you're right. Go ahead, Holmes. That wave of light we observed just before we dive contained a truly unbelievable amount of magical energy. More than enough to convince me I was capable of destroying this entire Lost Belt. If I hadn't already seen it with my own eyes. No one hero should ever be able to wield power of that scale. But given that he clearly can, there must be some reason for that. We've even heard a few hints towards his nature already, the final god. Every Indian divinity rolled into one. So now I think we best hear more about him from someone I believe is uniquely qualified to answer. Let me come right to the point. What is he? Okay, now seems like as good a time as any for a bit of a chat. Plus, now that you've shown me what the reverse side of the world looks like, it's only fair that I reciprocate, no? The rift between worlds is this Peperoncino narrating, the inside of nothingness, the gap between heaven and earth, the space outside the universe. Here, where a single moment spans an eternity, only he, and the few beings he acknowledges are able to exist. Storage records. No, is that just a narrator? The narrator sounds like Peperoncino. Organization complete. Commencing reconstruction. Oh, it's you. Why is his eye so far to the right? Like, do you guys see that? Like, it looks weird. Delightful. What a delightful way of molding the world as you see fit. I don't think I'll ever get tired of watching it. It's so unilateral, so transcendent, and above all, so violently correct. I just don't notice his hair swirls. I've never really looked at his sprite before, like in there's Hanafuda. Oh, what a blessing it is to witness it so closely. If you say so. Personally, I think it's just plain boring. Her face is covered. You had the perfect chance to get rid of the Chaldea clowns and let them get away. What was he thinking? Unnecessary. Defects. Deleted. Continuing logic absorption. And conceptual repairs. Oh, my. You really should be more careful, huh? You're lucky he seems not to have hurt you this time. If he decides we're defective and unnecessary too, we won't be able to escape the recreation process either. He's a god after all. He gets to make these sort of judgments. Right now, the Chaldeans are little more than pests to be cleaned up along with the rest of the trash. If he did decide that Horsey and his little gang were truly unnecessary, he would send one of his local Paula to handle them. It is not our place to say anything, let alone to do so impertinently. we need to do is stand back and merely spectate as he recreates this world into his own perfect little sandcastle. It may be wrong to draw plans and create molds when it comes to making sandcastles, but as they say, this is wrong. I don't want to be right. This is my line. Why doesn't anyone try their hand at it? If we repeat the process, the closer we'll get to making the perfect plans and molds. At the rate we're going now, why? I expect it won't be long at all before we get there. This is supposed the sand we're using make it worn and tattled. The more we destroy and rebuild. Big Eye. That's a small price to pay to bring such a grand project to its completion, don't you think? So of course, we'll keep going. That's his laugh. That's his laugh now. The foreign god's disciples consist of 3 alter egos. Okay. I think this is the first time they're actually saying it in game. Oh, that they're alter egos. This monk is the one to be especially wary of. Oh, he's the monk! Part of it is that he's very rotten to the core. And it also couldn't be more obvious that in the end, he's gonna cast off the few inhibitions he has, wreck everything in his path, move on to do it all over again somewhere else. Is this our first time seeing him since, Shimosa? Oh hey, you. What's with that look? You're saying I only dislike him because he reminds me of myself? I'm a patient woman, but even I can only take being lumped into something like that for so long. Why don't you open your mouth and actually say something for once? Or is your job really just observing and nothing else? Well, I guess you don't need to say anything there. Your actions couldn't have said it. I can already see where this is going, louder than if you brought a megaphone. Alright, I'll just make do with modest gains in this loss, but I'll focus on finding out what that monk is up to. After all, certainly don't want him getting in the way of my own future plans. Final value allotments. Confirmed. Entering. Executing. This is cool. Thus the world is reborn. Its cycle begins anew. They're really up there. Is that the end? Oh, the calendar. The presentation of this. I think this scene's supposed to be longer than that, so. Yeah. Yuga cycle. Inception. The movie, I watched that a couple months ago. So I'm sure you've all at least figured this much out, but that Arjuna is the core of this Indian lost belt. He's the reason this world became part of the pruning theoretical phenomenon. Let's see, to tie into Holmesy's earlier question. Holmesy? This world is pruned away because in it, you get the power you just witnessed. What exactly? Just so you know, this is almost all speculation on my part, okay? There's no one around here who could prove what really happened. Anyway, I don't know exactly when he got all that power, when this world became estranged from proper human history. All I know is that it was all a long time ago. We can make an educated guess. Probably during the Mahabharata. Something happened right around when the war it depicts came to an end. Something that led to Arjuna acquiring every divinity in India. Hey, you mentioned that earlier. Then, it's really true? It would certainly make a kind of paradoxical sense, given what we've seen so far. Feeling as extraordinary as remaking the entire world simply wouldn't be possible without an equally extraordinary background. But that still doesn't explain how it happened. This is also just speculation, but I think he probably acquired the divinities in phases. And the most plausible explanation I can think of, he probably started by acquiring Vishnu's power, since his closest friend Krishna was one of Vishnu's avatars. What's more, Krishna was said to have one of the strongest connections to Vishnu of all of his avatars. Now that I'm saying you're weak, of course, Rami. I'm perfectly able to understand the point you're making. Never mind the PlayStations. Is that how you say it? Just keep going. You've got it, hon. So if Arjuna somehow got Vishnu's divinity from Krishna, peacefully or otherwise, it stands to reason that it could have laid the groundwork to do the same with the other divinities. Vishnu is one of the most powerful gods in all of Indian mythology, after all. I expect he went around hungrily unifying all the other Indian gods in this lost belt one by one after that. Indra, even Shiva and Brahma were no exception. So once he absorbed all their divinities, he became what he is now. And Arjuna with divine power over death and creation, Ruler of this lost world and capable of destroying and rebuilding everything I like. No, I can't even call him Arjuna anymore. He may have started as Arjuna, but he's something else altogether now. That's why he's no longer a shred of the heroic Arjuna's personality. You saw that for yourselves, didn't you? Yeah, we did. Yes, he seemed disconnected? Mechanical? Not sure how best to describe it, but it did seem very clear that we won't be able to reason with him. Technically, this would not be the first such entity we've met. If we think back to Scandinavia, Sitonai was an amalgamation of 3 divine spirits. But Arjuna would seem to be on another scale altogether. Sitonai's relevant! Ooh! Yeah! Sitonai! So much it's hard to believe they're in the same category. At this point, it is all but too plausible to accept that he is neither human nor disturbant, but an entirely new divine, conceptual being. Truth be told, I'm surprised he's even able to maintain his form. So how do we summon him? What's the lore behind that? Alright, so we know what his deal is. Now what about you? What's your game here, Cryptor? Oh. Me? Why isn't that obvious? The only thing that's obvious about you is that your face practically screams, "Don't trust me!" Well, I never. All of you know I was just trying to keep my embarrassment from showing. Alright, you need me to explain, I can do that. After becoming a Cryptor, summoned Ashvatthama to be my servant. After he was assigned this Indian lost world, the first thing I did was make contact with its king, Arjuna. Once I learned he was basically a god, I spent my first few months here trying to control him as much as I could. And after that foreign god disciple showed up, Arjuna suddenly started behaving strangely. I guess the disciple must have managed to sway him over to his side. Who's this foreign god disciple? I'm assuming it's a Limbo. He's a young man who always wears some sort of Japanese outfit. He calls himself a monk, but he's clearly a failed Amioji. It's like a fortune teller, right? Kind of thing. He's in the stars. He's very handsome, but he's also thoroughly twisted and just rotten to the core. Definitely not my type. If I approached him, the odds were better than even that one of us would have ended up dead. Better than even. We couldn't have that, right? So yeah, we're both technically on the foreign god's side and all. Though I always made sure to keep my distance from him. Never even got the chance to find out his true name. At least we know it isn't Koyanskaya. Seems like he's not Father Kotomine. Rasputin, rather. Either. Oh, I'm fond of Koyanskaya. She might be evil, but she's a pure sort of evil. You know how she can cross between lost spots as she pleases, right? So I see her every now and then. But I haven't gotten a read on her. It's like she doesn't respect the foreign god despite being an alter ego. But anyway, Koyanskaya doesn't have anything to do with Arjuna. Basically, thanks to the other alter ego, the male disciple Arjuna started taking a much heavier hand to his world than he ever had before. After that, sounds like they needed more pawns for running errands and such. Oh, that's a face. So he wanted my it took my contract with Ashvatthama. Oh, because he happened to be close by. Ha 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 ha. He's like Columbus. Just like that, Ashvatthama was his. There's nothing I could do. A lot of good being a Cryptor did, right? At that point, all I could do was laugh at how absurd it all was. What? You just took your contract from you? Thinking back on it now, I shouldn't be surprised, considering just how powerful a god he is. Just didn't really get how powerful until he was using that power on me. Then, to top it all off, he wanted to summon a few more servants all on his own. I don't know if he figured it out by studying Ashvatthama or if the disciple told him, but I guess it doesn't matter. The point is, once he had more servants on his side, I had zero chance of taking Ashvatthama back. I got the impression that Ashvatthama used to be your servant based on our earlier conversation. What I really want to know is, what happened after that? Yeah, how did you live for multiple resets? After that? In a way, as far as my legs could take me, of course. You don't want to die for nothing after all. That's really all it comes down to with me. Or did this happen all in the last week? But don't you Cryptors have a duty to grow your lost boats? Isn't that how you're supposed to determine which one is truly worthy to rule? Well, sure. With India, or rather, with Arjuna here, that's just not gonna happen. Honestly, I knew it was pointless almost as soon as I got here. Easy to see this world as a dead end. Nothing I can do about that. So I gave up on my responsibilities to grow this world's tree of emptiness. I mean, who cares the king of the world is... Who cares who the king of the world is if you're not allowed to see it? Krishnaria's probably already figured out that my lost was a lost cause. In David's case, I'm not sure. Wish you'd show at least a little interest in it, but oh well. Oh, that reminds me. What you had run-ins with Kadak, Ophelia, and Akuta? Well, if you're not gonna make this personal, I won't either. Besides, I can't go around avenging my comrades or talking about Crypto's prides or the things they are right now, can I? Huh. So you're refusing to comment on the Cryptors, is that it? And as long as we don't bring up the Cryptors ourselves, you won't oppose us as one. Is that what you're saying? Take it however you like. But just knowing that Horsey spilled Kadak and buried Ophelia, well, that's more than enough reason for me to want to avoid fighting him if I can. I noticed you didn't mention Akuta Hinako there. What about her? Oh, Akuta's a special case. I mean, she wasn't even human, right? How does he know that? She was never on anyone's side but her own to begin with, so don't see any reason to avenge her. You knew Akuta Hinako was a true ancestor? Akuta did a good job keeping her cards close to her chest, but I've always had a good nose for that sort of thing. I knew the instant I arrived at Chaldea that she wasn't actually human. What did you mean when you said this world is a dead end? Oh yes, that's the last thing I need to tell you about. Arjuna uses his power to destroy and recreate the world over and over, cycling it through periods called yugas. I'll spare you the details for now, but while they're similar in some ways to India's original conception of yugas, they ultimately diverge pretty wildly. We have a couple of problems. First, he's gradually going through the yugas faster and faster. Then there's one of the things he does is he completes each cycle. Something he does when he remakes heaven and earth in between yuga cycles. We've already been informed about something along those lines, namely the judgment Asha told us about. I can infer what that in judgment entails thanks to her telling us it involves everyone. Oh, Asha the girl. I thought he shortened Ashvadaman's name. It involves everyone dying and coming back to life. But of course, now's not the time for speculation. Why not? Love to get to see you speculating in person, Holmes. Hard as it may be to believe coming from me, I have no intention of interrupting someone else's explanation of a thorny riddle with my own half-baked theories. Well, if you already know that much, it'll be faster to see it for yourselves then anyway. Hi, it's me, Da Vinci, the beautiful genius who's been forced to keep her mouth shut and listen despite being itching to jump into all this fascinating discussion. Our reality space observation results have finally stabilized, so we can emerge from our zero zone now. The longer we stay submerged, the more chance we have of something going wrong, so while I hate to cut Peperoncino's explanation off, I really think we should head back to reality space now, especially for our own. What do you say, Gordy? Alright, then go ahead. But I want our security to remain airtight. But dang sure we resurface inside the lost belt. Got it? Got it. Will it be safe for us to go back outside after we emerge? Oh sure. The rules about the Yuga cycle are 100% absolute, so I can promise you Arjuna won't try anything now that we've just started a new one. Now when it comes to other dangers, can't make any guarantees. I mean, I just don't know, you know? We can't let the mere possibility of danger hold us back. We may not be able to do anything about that cataclysm yet, but we'll just have to assume we'll be able to handle any other threats we run into. Did I leave the air conditioner on? I think I turned it back on between videos. I think I hear it. Dang it. You can live with some background noise. The Jean Karna may be gone now, but you still have Mashu, myself, Ganesha, and the Divine Spirit. You know, killing Karna off is probably the right choice, just because him and Rama kind of had the same role. Yeah, I guess so. Are you alright? Sorry for being so down in the dumps. I'm okay now, I promise. You know I still have my Ganesha duties to fulfill. Besides, did you hear what Karna said? It's me to take care of you for him. Can you believe that? Super great hero like Karna asking a loser like me for help? How does that work? Still, I don't think he'd have said that if he hadn't needed my help. So that must mean he thought I was up to it, that he trusted me as a fellow servant. So I figure, I may be a loser, but I can still do my losery best. Karna's gonna put his trust in me, might as well see if he saw something I didn't. Just don't expect me to be much help. Okay, I won't. Glad to have you with us. I'll come along and help too, of course. Besides, it's easier to explain things when you're seeing them in person. Is that alright with you, Horsey and Mashu? Yeah, we'll live with it. No, Mashu, don't trust this guy. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pepe. Hold it. What do you think you're doing, Peperoncino? Have you forgotten you're our prisoner? Huh? But the border won't be leaving this lost one until Horsey finishes what he came here to do, right? So how could I possibly get away on my own? Besides, helping all of you is the surest way to help me survive too. Not to mention that Mashi just looks so adorable after all this time. But I can't help but want to support her anyway, you know? Her new sprite does look better than her old one. I see? Thank you? Of course. You insist on keeping me in here, well, I can't blame you for that. Are you sure it's a good idea? A good idea? Don't be preposterous, of course I'm... Wait, no, hang on, what if... Oh my, he's gotten so pale. Scared of keeping an unknown element like me here in the heart of their operations. God, he's so easy to read. Could have Holmes and Catherine restrain him, but what if he's planting a bomb inside his body? Something frightening about him that reminds me of a mercenary. Ray said he only wants to survive, but he's obviously not the least bit frightened about dying. I could easily see him blowing himself up and taking us all out with him, so then the safest option would be... Alright, suppose it would be the humane thing to do. Very well then, just this once I'll get you special permission to accompany Horsey. But be warned, this permission is contingent on you obeying every order we give you, without question. Refuse and I won't hesitate to take whatever measures I deem necessary. Is that clear? Okay, that's fair. Right idea. Works for me. Okay then, let's get going. Shadow Border, preparing to emerge. Everyone, hold on tight. As soon as we're safely back to reality space, let's go see what this newly remade world is like. End of chapter? Yeah, okay. An exposition chapter. I'm fine with that. Do I have enough quartz for a, summon? Quartz? Come on. Quartz. Dang! Oh, yes! I do! I have enough! There's enough! Come on! Scuddy! 2 Scuddies! 3! Give me 3 in 1 roll! It's technically possible to get 2 in 1 roll now, although I don't think I'm at it. I got a bunch of tickets today. Did not get her. I got my 4th copy of Tamamo Cat though, which is something. She's still at level 1 though. Oh, servant! Yeah. No, this is not a caster. That's Jekyll and Hyde. I just did his interlude. Do I have him on MP5? Yeah, I do. I think I have him max ascended. I think. Well, I don't have Kiyohime at 5. Okay, guys. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time with more Fate Grand Order. I'm imagining it's gonna be some. You know, we've been introduced to the main villain. Now we're gonna get a couple slower chapters, like introduce the world and the people in it. I assume. And check out whatever this is. I'm assuming that's going to be like more in the middle-ish. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. The map is pretty. It's the tree. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time with some more Fate Grand Order. Goodbye.